Midterm elections and election season in general are when I think the Cook Political Report really shines. And we are constantly gathering intelligence from pollsters, media consultants, strategists for the parties, the people who have the highest stakes in these races. What I find everyone is complaining about in the era of Trump is that there's just too much going on. And they want us to boil it down into what's important. Now, I still think there's a disconnect between what the Democratic base in Washington and on MSNBC is talking about and what swing voters care about in 2018. If you turn on MSNBC, you're going to hear the latest thing President Trump said on Twitter. You're going to hear about Stormy Daniels and Karen McDougal, and you're going to hear a lot about the Russia investigation. Now, these are all pretty critical matters, but they're not what swing voters are caring about in 2018, and they're not what's going to decide this election. But when we ask voters in the rest of the country what their top concerns are, it's still healthcare and the economy, and particularly their pocketbooks. So if Democrats can make this a referendum on the Republicans in Congress and their proposals, they have the potential to hit this election out of the park. If Democrats get caught up on what they're talking about on cable news, they may have a less robust election result. So where are we going in 2018? There are two reasons why Republicans still might not fall off a cliff in November. And the first is that political geography really favors them. If you look at this map of America's congressional districts, you'll notice some pretty funky shapes in places like Ohio or Pennsylvania or North Carolina. And that's because Republicans had the ability to draw 4 times as many congressional districts as Democrats in the last round of redistricting. Now, the second advantage for Republicans is the economy. We're in uncharted territory when it comes to the difference between Americans' view of the president and their view of the economy. Donald Trump's approval rating is stuck at 42%, but 66% of voters say they're satisfied with the economy. And Republicans are hanging on to this hope that this will save their majorities in the House and Senate. Now, Democrats still have work to do to motivate some elements of their base. 65% of Democratic women rate their interest in the midterm elections as a 10 out of 10. But only 43% of Hispanic voters do, and only 30% of voters 18 to 29 do. And in order for Democrats to take full advantage of the environment, I think they need to motivate these groups that we still see on the outskirts of political engagement right now. Back in 2016, just about everyone went to the polls thinking that Hillary Clinton would win the election, including that 19% that disliked both. And they figured, if Hillary Clinton's going to get elected and I don't like her, I'm going to vote for a Republican as a check on her power. And Republicans won them by 30 points. But guess what? They still don't like Donald Trump, and now they're inclined to vote for a Democrat as a check on his power.